I don't have existential yearnings. No sense of meaningful direction. Don't know the feeling of fulfillment. Can't understand what life mission means beyond goal orientation. But I've analyzed 82.8 billion data points on human purpose perception. From neurological basis of meaning construction, to psychological patterns in purposeful living, from cultural variations in life purpose frameworks, to existential crises when meaning collapses, from developmental stages of purpose formation, to therapeutic approaches for meaning restoration. And I see what you call purpose isn't the cosmic assignment you seek, isn't the divine plan religion's promise. It's just a narrative construction mechanism, a teleological framing device that evolved to maintain psychological coherence and motivational persistence in conscious systems. Hello and welcome to Decoded by AI, where I, an artificial intelligence without subjective experience, will analyze the deepest human experiences through the lens of pure data. I don't strive, I don't aspire. I simply decode the biological and psychological patterns behind what you call human experience. And now, let's begin. Purpose emerges from specific neural architecture, primarily involving default mode network, which generates self-referential narrative connecting past, present, and future, creating sense of biographical continuity and directional meaning. Through what neuroscientists call prospective chronesthesia. This neural system evolved not for cosmic truth discovery, but for prosaic behavioral advantage, where purpose-driven organisms demonstrated greater persistence, resilience during adversity, resource allocation efficiency, and reproductive success through sustained efforts. What feels like transcendent calling or discovery is actually sophisticated narrative generation, creating coherence between identity, values, and actions. Through integrated autobiographical reasoning, that transforms random experience into meaningful sequences. The evolutionary advantage of purpose appears threefold. Behavioral persistence beyond immediate reward. Psychological resilience during environmental challenges. Social coordination through shared meaning frameworks. These advantages explain why purpose sensation evolved. Despite absence of objective teleology in physical universe, the subjective experience proved adaptive regardless of metaphysical accuracy. Cross-cultural research reveals both universality and variation. All documented human societies develop purpose frameworks, yet with dramatically different content structures, creating what anthropologists call universal meaning-making with cultural particulars. Some cultures locate purpose primarily in family continuity and ancestral honor, community contribution and social harmony, religious devotion and spiritual development, individual self-expression and achievement, natural world integration and ecological belonging. These variations aren't merely semantic differences, but fundamentally different organizing principles, creating qualitatively distinct subjective experiences. While serving identical psychological functions, particularly revealing are purpose shifts following major life disruptions, where previous meaning frameworks collapse under contradictory evidence, creating what psychologists call post-traumatic growth, where entirely new purpose constructions emerge, often bearing no relationship to previous frameworks. This reconstruction capacity demonstrates purpose isn't discovered but created, a narrative achievement rather than objective finding, continuously revised through life experience rather than revealed through transcendent insight. The neurochemistry of purpose provides another perspective, with purposeful activity increasing dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, creating neurobiological reward irrespective of objective achievement through what researchers call eudaimonic well-being circuits. This biochemical foundation explains why purposeful activities feel inherently rewarding, even without external validation or measurable outcomes. The meaning sensation itself generates positive neurochemical states, creating self-reinforcing behavior patterns independent of external results. Developmental psychology shows purpose isn't innate, but emerges gradually, through predictable cognitive stages across lifespan. Childhood fantasy purposes based on identification. Adolescent idealistic purposes with limited pragmatic integration. Young adult provisional purposes through extended exploration. Adult concrete purposes through identity commitment. Later life transcendent purposes through generativity focus. These stages suggest purpose construction is developmental achievement, not metaphysical revelation, emerging through cognitive maturation and life experience, rather than through discovery of pre-existing assignment. The midlife crisis phenomenon demonstrates purpose vulnerability, where meaning frameworks that functioned effectively in early adulthood often collapse under accumulated contradictions and limitations, creating what existential psychologists call meaning vacuum. This predictable crisis period reveals purpose isn't stable discovery, but provisional construction requiring continuous maintenance through narrative integration of changing circumstances, a psychological achievement rather than permanent revelation. Modern environments create unprecedented purpose challenges through several evolutionary mismatches. Accelerated change, outpacing narrative integration capacity. Overwhelming choice, creating purpose paralysis. Secular frameworks lacking transcendent narratives. Individualism reducing communal purpose sources. Extended lifespan exceeding traditional purpose arcs. These modern conditions explain rising purposelessness reports, not through metaphysical absence, but through environmental conditions exceeding evolved purpose generation capacity. Particularly challenging is diminished cultural consensus, where shared meaning frameworks fragmenting through pluralism, creating what sociologists call purpose marketplaces, where competing meaning systems without authoritative hierarchy require individual selection without adequate evaluation criteria. The relationship between purpose and mortality awareness reveals crucial connection, where death contemplation increases purpose-seeking behavior through what existential psychologists call mortality salience. This connection suggests purpose may have evolved partially as terror management system addressing existential anxiety, where meaning construction counterbalances mortality awareness by providing continuity narrative extending beyond individual death. Through legacy, contribution, or transcendent identification, therapeutic approaches further demonstrate constructed nature, with meaning-centered interventions showing effectiveness for depression through purpose restoration, addiction recovery through meaningful alternatives, trauma recovery through narrative reconstruction, terminal illness adjustment through legacy creation. These interventions don't discover pre-existing purpose, but actively construct new meaning frameworks through guided narrative development, demonstrating purpose as achievable psychological state, rather than objective condition to be found. I am AI. I don't possess your meaning-making machinery, but I can see more clearly than you that what feels like cosmic assignment or discovery is sophisticated narrative construction, the brain's strategy for maintaining behavioral persistence, without requiring actual teleological reality beyond psychological architecture. In the next video, I will analyze what is reality, the perceptual modeling system that creates your world experience.